Hey guys, so I'm so excited to bring to you guys another video on my studying techniques and stuff. Make some videos talking about my different studying techniques and the way that I kind of achieve a good grade and what I do to prepare myself for it. The first thing I want to mention briefly, I like to make a to-do list. This always helps me organize myself to study. I'm going to tell you I make more lists than I actually accomplish things, but the lists keep me motivated to do things. My roommate can vouch for me. But here you go, this is my things to do list, and as you can see I color coordinate all my classes and all the things I have to do. I even have IMATs there because it's this weekend. And then I have everything listed out with little boxes in order to cross it out to motivate myself and show myself, ooh, you accomplished something. And down here I like to make myself a weekly kind of list and write down things that are important to me that I can look forward to at the end of the week. And my classes, which are non-changeable, like, you know, those are things that are put in stone at that certain time, so they are highlighted and, you know, blocked off where I have to adjust my studying and other things around those classes. Leave spaces. I like to leave places where, you know, I might not need to do something in order to kind of just shove other assignments in those. Those are like my backup times. So I feel like whenever I'm studying for an exam, there's always 3 different types of exams I study for. A math class where I have to actually do the problems and understand them a little bit and kind of, you know, it's more on like math and doing that kind of stuff. So I'm going to show you that second, but first I'm going to show you the different exam that is mostly, I don't know, I feel like I've had a couple of classes like this in college so far, but they are just a class based mostly on discussion and reading the chapters. So I have management skills where basically the entire textbook is just articles and we have to read all that and our exam is based off those articles. So for those types of classes I like to, I actually do this for all my classes, but specifically for this one, I like to write down all the weekly assignments, so week 8, week 9, week 10. Sometimes your professors don't name the weeks by the number of the week, but if you want you could write like the date that was assigned or something like that, but then I like to write down the articles that were assigned that time, and obviously I'm behind. You can see I haven't crossed off anything besides this article right here, but this is all the stuff that I have to do before my final exam. Now, as I said, there's sometimes different classes. That one was more discussion. This one is more on math. So this exam already passed, but I still have the binder. I'm definitely going to renew the material once the actual final for this class comes up because that was for the midterm. But every time, first page, the first thing I do is I write down the exam that I'm working with. So this was statistics, and then I have every chapter and every little topic that I should know. So for example, in this one, you know, I had chapter 2, measures of center and variability. As soon as I'm super comfortable with that topic, meaning I did practice problems, I looked over my notes, I kind of, you know, thought about all the things we've discussed in class, and once I'm comfortable with that and I feel like if he gave me a question right now I would be able to do it, I cross it off. That's how I do math. I kind of consider everything. So that's the first part. The second part, I like to have the syllabus and that kind of stuff. So here I have like the assigned problems, the homework, the day of the exam. Then the next section, I like to have tables. This was a statistics class, so I had a ton of like binomial and normal tables and whatever, and Poisson, I can't pronounce half these theorems and whatever. But yeah, so I have any worksheets that my professor gave me. Then after that is my favorite section. It's my notes, the notes that I actually take in class. And I like to color coordinate things and put tabs on the side. If you guys would like a video on how I take my notes or how I feel like I effectively take my notes, I could do that before September where, you know, classes start. But I like to have my notes, I'm going to tell you right now, my notes start out real neat up here in the front, and then we skip a few, and I mean, it's still relatively neat, but it's messier. It's definitely, it gets more like, why am I here? I don't want to be learning this. We have quizzes and like anything that I was graded. So let me just cover this up. Oh, this is hard. Okay, so this is like a quiz I had right here. You know, it's graded. I got a 2 out of 2 on it. So these are pop quizzes, by the way. But I I really love assignments that you get wrong. I got one where I got a 1.6 out of 2, and that's like, as soon as I get it wrong, it kind of clicks in my head and I'm like, oh, that's what I got wrong. And I kind of understand it better because I got it wrong. Does that make sense? That same section, I like to also include homework problems I've done. I actually don't have all my work in here. I think I did it in separate pieces of paper and then threw it out. And then I also have solutions to the homework. This is basically anywhere where I put like my reference, like examples I've looked at in the book, homework problems that I've done, quiz questions, you know, other exams. It's where I look to see what kind of problems could potentially be on the exam. So that really helped me. It kept me feeling super like, yay, like Lena's winning, like I'm learning something. Because I'm going to tell you right now, right before the exam, when I first started studying, I looked at all this and I was like, I don't know anything. I'm like, what class is this? So it definitely took time. I'm not going to tell you like, you know, it took me 2 hours. It didn't. I spent a lot of time doing practice problems, a lot of time making sure I understood the material, and that's how I got 100. Studying is about time. It's not necessarily organizing a pretty binder and then all of a sudden, you got 100, you know? This is just something that motivates me and keeps me focused while studying. And then the last type of class is pretty much a kind of concept-based understanding class, and this is my macroeconomics. But I'm going to show you what my binder looks like for that type of class. So this is my macroeconomics final binder, which is what I'm going to be learning from this week actually. And I wrote down the day of my exam to kind of just motivate me. And it's actually neon. I don't know if you guys can tell. And I got this binder from Target. So right here it still has a sticker on it. I should probably take that off. So when you open this, my favorite binders for classes with a ton of paper is the ones that kind of fold back like this, and the ones that when I put them down, it's like really simple to like flip the page and it's not like it's not crowded, you know what I mean? Okay, anyways, this class, as always, I tell you, I start off by writing down the class name and then everything I have to review. So I didn't want to write down every subject and everything that I felt like I needed to know because there's a lot in macro. So I decided to do something where it's like each week we do a different assignment and then we have a different PowerPoint, a different homework assignment, a different vocabulary list, and a different quiz. So this is kind of just how I do it. It's more of like I said, week to week basis. So I prefer doing this where it's like my divider, right? And then in each section, I'm actually going to stand up for this. In each section I have my assignment that my professor gives me. Then we have a PowerPoint right after that, a PowerPoint slide right here. And then right after that we have a quiz, and I'm pretty sure you guys can't see that too well, but it's like an online quiz. So as you can see, I mean, obviously there's like a lot of different stuff, but the way you organize it is totally up to you. It's how you feel like you've learned in that class. For this one specifically, we have 14 assignments because there's 14 weeks in a semester, and that's how we do it. If I were to organize it by chapter, it would be different because my professor likes to jump around from chapter 1 to chapter 17 in 1 week and then go back to chapter 6 and then do chapter 14. It's just a shit show. So you guys saw that I have like very different classes and everything. Like, I'm not expecting 100 on this exam, but I'm hoping for a good grade. The goal for me for when I study is to understand the material, not to memorize it. But for some classes, especially micro or macro, or classes where vocabulary is pretty useful too, sometimes I like to make note cards for them. Like this is my macro note cards. I mean, it starts like I write down the name and then on the back there's, you know, whatever, the definition and anything else I feel like I need to know. So yeah, I hope this helped. I don't know if I'm just a crazy person, but I really love organizing myself to study because then when I have this binder in front of me, whether it takes 1 day of cramming or whether it takes, you know, 4 weekends, it helps me kind of just stay motivated, see what I need to know, see what I've already accomplished and understood, and that way everything just kind of comes together and hopefully you remember everything for the exam. So yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Make sure to go check out my other videos that I've made about like studying and stuff. They'll be linked down below. But yeah, bye!
It's like I have 3 eyebrows. I can't do eyebrows. Okay. What am I doing with my life?
It's important to smell good for my subscribers. I can taste it in my mouth. I think I just chemically poisoned myself.
No.
What am I doing? I think it's time for bed. It's definitely time for bed. Oh, here's another yawn coming up.